Now you'll find out how to start making money in trading in 2025, which tools to use for your analysis, how to practice correctly, and what every modern trader absolutely needs. Let's get started. The very first thing you need to do is practice. But don't just practice mindlessly or in some kind of chaos, do it with a clear system. This could be your own strategy, or just a set of tools that you work with. For example, your system might include choosing a currency pair, picking the trade duration, and, say, selecting your tools. That's just 3 tools you can already start working with. So if you understand how to choose a currency pair, what time frame to pick for that pair, and which tools you're using, that's your working strategy. At first, you might have 3 to 5 factors that really work for you. Then you start practicing. For example, you open 10 trades using your strategy to start with. You check your stats, 60% of your trades are profitable. So, you realize that this isn't enough and you need to improve further. That means you need to refine some tools or add more factors, like chart settings, the tiny trade, or some additional indicators. So basically, the most important thing in trading, just like it was 10 or even 20 years ago, is carefully choosing the strategy you work with and then simply practicing it as much as possible. I highly recommend opening 10 to 20 trades a day if you're just starting out. If you already have your own personal strategy, then 50 to 100 trades a day is your maximum. I'd even say anywhere from 20-50 to 100 trades. You don't need more than that because you start to lose your ability to really observe the market. We have students who open up to 1,000 trades a day. That's really a lot, and it's very fast-paced. And with such a high volume of trades, sometimes the quality suffers. I still recommend that you work on improving your quality, but to do that, you need to make a lot of trades using the same strategy. So, you pick a strategy and just keep testing it. If, for example, the first strategy doesn't give you results, you start testing strategy number 2, and then you see how that one works. If that one gave you 60% profitable trades, then maybe this one will give you, say, 70%. That's a strategy you can work with. Then you start testing strategy number 3, and that one only gives you 40%. So you realize that you can just write that one off completely. This one works for you, and that one can be improved. So, it's kind of a neutral strategy. It's better to alternate between these strategies. For example, one day you use one strategy, and the next day you see that the market is completely different, with different volumes in different situations, so you choose a different strategy. I recommend you have at least 3 strategies, so you have options to choose from. 3 strategies and consistent practice, that's the number 1 rule for any trader. And then come the finer details. But let me remind you again that in our Telegram channel, you'll find even more strategies and more articles about trading psychology and how to improve it. I'll leave the link in the description. Now, let's move on with the video. When we have covered such a global topic as how we need to practice, that is, in essence, our foundation. Next, we need technical tools. These could be levels. For example, right here we can mark a level and open a trade on the bounce, trading only from levels. We have a resistance level and a support level. Resistance is above. It puts pressure on the price and, as a result, doesn't let it go higher. Support, on the other hand, holds the price from below and doesn't let it drop lower. So, we'll simply trade on the bounce from these levels. If the price reaches the upper level, we enter a trade to go down. If the price reaches the lower level, we enter a trade to go up. The logic here is simple, but this is a pretty basic tool that doesn't always give a lot of winning trades in the moment. So, you could say this is a kind of foundation that I recommend everyone learn. How do you mark these levels? You need to have at least 2 touches of the same price range. It doesn't have to be exactly the same number. It can be a little higher or a little lower. That's not the point. The most important thing is that they're within the same range. If the difference is just about this much, you can consider it all as one big level. And, accordingly, we trade off the bounce from that level. By the way, let me check, this is an interesting trade. It closed at break even, and the funds were returned. As you can see, levels are a working system, a practical tool, but you need to handle them carefully. So, for the next trade, I'll open with $1,500 and now I'll use a second tool. Now I'll pick a currency pair and mark a level on it, but then I'll use a little life hack. So, for example, right now I want to find out whether this level, the one above, is going to be broken or not. To do this, I go to BoosterBot, select this currency pair, and set the trade time to 1 minute to see if there will be a breakout or not. BoosterBot gives me a buy signal. I open my buy trade for 1 minute. This means that a breakout is about to happen. So, in my strategy right now, you could say I'm combining 2 elements. First, it's choosing the currency pair and the time frame. Then, I mark the level. That's a technical tool, but I don't know if the price will break through this level or bounce off it. I don't have enough data, or maybe skills for that. So, I switch to BoosterBot, and it does all the analysis for me. I realize that what's about to happen is most likely a pretty strong breakout, and that makes my life as a trader easier. Basically, I can spot a situation on the market, and BoosterBot will do the analysis for me and tell me where the price is likely to go. As you can see, there's a solid impulse move, 16 whole points. A great deal just earned me $1,300. Not bad. By the way, you can activate this robot right now using the link in the description and start getting signals from it 24/7. It does the analysis for you, and all you have to do is open the trade yourself. So, if you want to get smart analysis of the current market situation, then activate the booster bot using the link in the description. The next point that might help you. For example, you choose levels, you choose technical tools, and the next point is indicators. They really help us figure out where we can enter a trade and where it's better to skip it. They show us the volumes, where there is high demand right now, and where, on the contrary, demand is low. And, accordingly, all of this really helps us. We can start with simple indicators if we're just learning. For example, CCI or RSI. Let's even take RSI as an example and try to open a trade using just this indicator without the booster bot. For instance, on the euro to US dollar currency pair, I'm seeing a situation where there are currently very strong buyers. The zone from 70 to 50 represents the buyers and their strength, and the zone below from 50 to 30 represents the sellers. Accordingly, the higher these values are, the stronger that particular side is. But if the price at the moment goes above 70 or below 30, it means the market is overbought or oversold. And accordingly, we can expect a strong reversal to restore balance in the market. This is something you also need to know. So, what did I notice in this situation right now? We had this level, the price started to reverse, and I saw that the buyers are currently stronger than the sellers. This means that we will break through this level at the moment. So I opened a 1-minute trade for an increase. That's if we're doing a full analysis. And as you can see, that's a pretty good move, 30 whole points. Now the buyers have overdone it, overheated the market, and now a reversal to the downside is possible. But in the moment, for 1 minute, that situation was enough for me to close the trade in profit. The most important thing in all of this is, first, to find your own strategy, and second, to practice. Just keep practicing and look for those strategies that really work. And always stay flexible so you can use 1, 2, or even 3 strategies depending on the market. We have different volumes, we have different situations, and you need to be ready for that. To make life easier, subscribe to our Telegram channel. Also activate the booster bot using the link in the description. With that, I'll say goodbye. See you soon. And don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, give it a like, and leave a comment on this video.